Hi, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Curators of the Past and into the Future. I was just wondering if you could introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi. My name is Emma Steen. I am a freelance curator and writer, and I am also the Outreach and Membership Coordinator for the Indigenous Curatorial Collective. I am from Toronto. My hometown is also where I'm currently based. Been here my whole life, except for 5 years in Halifax, a little blip. And now I'm back here.
Perfect. Thank you. So my first question that I'm asking everyone is, who do you find to be the most exciting curators to follow, and how do you go about following them?
Yeah. Okay. So I selected 4 people to talk about, 2 people, 2 organizations. So the first is a really awesome queer Asian community organization, New Hope Queen. They do some really awesome arts programming. It's like by them, for them. Like all of their programming is like for queer, trans, Asian folks in the city of Toronto and the surrounding areas. And I've been lucky enough to get to go to some of their like very fun events as well as some of their community events. And yeah, it's good people doing really good work. And I was kind of curating on like a galaxy brain level, because it's not the same kind of like white wall curating, but it is, I think, definitely still like community organizing, curating, and creating arts performances and art spaces that are like really radical and awesome. The second organization I want to talk about is Nia Center for the Arts, which is a Black and Black diasporic community organization that also does a lot of arts programming, and they do arts programming in like every possible medium. They also have really cool like youth and mentorship programming. They just got a physical location here in Toronto up at Oakwood and Vaughan, which is like super exciting. And yeah, also just like very good people doing cool, interesting work, especially in a city that like refuses to fund any like Black arts initiatives. Like Toronto's so bad with that. So Nia Center has been for a while now, like really just like putting out some amazing stuff. And both New Hope Queen and Nia Center, I follow through Instagram. And then I want to talk about also Leticia Cosbert Miller, who's the director of Koffler Digital, which is the digital like aspect realm of Koffler Center for the Arts, which is a physical art gallery here in Toronto also. Leticia is just like, she's the coolest person I know, maybe. I love her to bits. And the work she makes is just like super interesting. It is designed to exist separate from the confines of galleries, especially when it comes to the conversation that can be had in like non-physical spaces, the voices you can bring in, the plurality of voices you can bring in, and also the ways you can really like cut out a lot of like the colonialism and white supremacy that is like so ingrained into a lot of gallery spaces and in a lot of like Western curating. So yeah, Leticia and the work at Koffler Digital is like amazing. You can follow that also on Instagram. They have like a website that all of their programming is on because it is digital. So I highly suggest checking that out. And my last person, going on for so long, Adrienne Ward, who is another sweet love of mine. She is a also freelance curator and writer. She is now one of the Indigenous editors at large for Canadian art. She's based in Treaty One in Winnipeg, and she does just like really awesome queer focused, sex worker focused curating and performing. And the work she does is really about like sexual agency as Indigenous women, like the body as a tool to be used like, against colonialism. And yeah, she just is so rad, and I wanted to boost her a little bit.
Yeah, I am familiar with her work. And she's on our board, which is...
And she's on our board. Yeah, she's our treasurer.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for that. And we'll be tagging those folks in this Instagram post and on Vimeo where this is going to be living. So everyone will be able to like go and follow these folks and these organizations that you've mentioned. My second question is, who would you love to collaborate with on a curatorial project? Or like a project in general, because I think we can really expand the idea of like what curation really means.
Yeah, totally. So I finished my master's this past spring, and I was really focusing on a lot of the art coming out of the 90s by Indigenous women, but kind of just Indigenous curating at the time. And Nation to Nation is a very rad 90s and then into the early 2000s curatorial like collective group, and they were putting out just like the most interesting shit that's ever been made, I think. Like Ryan Rice, Scavanati, like cool people doing amazing work, and the kind of arts curating they were doing was so broad and really also like community based. So there were like exhibitions happening kind of in response to like the Montreal 350th anniversary, really like focusing on like present day colonialism. And so creating work for art gallery spaces, but also creating really cool like pseudo performance, pseudo community engagement creating work. So there's like tattoo ins and like big bingo games, and a lot of the art had to do with like sexuality and kink and also just like early digital art. It was just like radical work, and Native people being just like hardcore Native in every possible sense of that, like just down to mess things up and try new things. And so I would love to in some way like restage maybe some of the shows they did. Native Love is a show I like wrote about on like in my master's, and it's just this very cool look at what Native love looks like and looked like in the 90s, and then also, you know, getting to restage cool shows like a tattoo in or like a big bingo game where you can bring people together, you can have like a performative element to it. Like that's just like the coolest stuff I can imagine, and really changing what it means to be like curating spaces and curating art and wearing art. And yeah, so working in some way to restage, reinvigorate, I don't know, whatever some of their work from the 90s would be like my dream. Yeah. I love Nation.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that would be amazing to do. I just think about like taking over community centers instead of like gallery spaces to kind of just like, but like really mixing like contemporary art and like Indigenous contemporary art together.
Yeah.
The way that we always have, but yeah, I think that's a great dream. I like that a lot. My last question is, what are you most excited about for the future of Indigenous curation or curating in general, and how you see it kind of progressing?
Yeah. So this has definitely already started. So I'm just excited to see like how far like we can take this, but definitely just seeing like how many Indigenous curators and artists and just like art workers at kind of all levels, really just like self-determining the work that they want to do, separate from institutions, separate from, you know, what non-Indigenous organizations or governing bodies or funding bodies want to see, expect to see. Really like curating again, like for communities. So curating without having to consider, you know, the colonial gaze, like that to me is just the most exciting. And like I said, this has been happening, and I think it's only going to get like more rad and cooler there's so many like really amazing like collectives and curators who are right now like curating in solidarity with like other BIPOC communities across the city in Toronto, as well as just like across Canada and the States too, and like Oceania. It's inspiring, and it, I think, really like bringing a collectiveness together that pushes back against like capitalism and colonial expectations and, you know, white supremacy, and creating new spaces that can be, you know, free spaces to exist within in all of what we encompass as people. And doing that, you know, with like a mindset of like solidarity and sovereignty and yeah, just like self-determining our own futures. And I am obsessed. I just can't wait.
Me too. I really think that like yeah, it's a really exciting time because there has been so much work done up until now that has like really progressed our communities, and I'm really excited, yeah, to see like how that progresses because I just see it just getting better and better and more and more.
More money, more power.
Amazing. Yes. Well, thanks so much for talking to me.
I really appreciate thanks for talking to me.
And yeah, I'll see you soon.